Good morning. You ever wake up and say, the hell are you getting yourself into? That's me. If you guys don't know, I am at a shop in Ventura, California. My name's Matt. I'm building a van into a monstrosity. I am stuck here in Ventura voluntarily because I have to spray the inside of this monster with the compound called LizardSkin. It's a two-part compound. The first is a sound deadener, basically just a heavy substance you spray on. It takes it from to. That's what sound deadener does. The reason I can do that is because there's a whole bunch of sound deadener already on here. It's KILMAT. I didn't realize how much was on here until I started tearing the floor up and things yesterday. I'm sort of experimenting. My mission is to take wherever there is coating, just spray over it. Double it up. What I want to do with this van is I want to turn it into basically a sound studio. I want to do podcasts, video production, video editing. I want to converse with people. I want to have conversations with people, interesting people all around the world. I want to do it in a comfortable space, and I want to do it in a high quality place for producing videos, you know? And you know when you say you know? like nobody out there is going, yeah, I know. You know is a very conversational phrase. You shouldn't really say it to yourself or camera. I was really hoping to prep this whole area for spraying today. I had to tear that dashboard apart. Come here, check this out. Look at that. It looks like one of the animals in the Matrix. One of the squiddies. I really wanted to get the sound deadener way up there and up in there. And so I had to remove the floor mat. Seemed like an easy thing, right? Not as easy as you would think. In fact, it was a pain in the ass. In order to get all the way up in this area here, right in the middle, the floor mat was jammed up, way up in there. And I kept removing panels and then removing panels. And oftentimes, in order to remove the panels on the lower end, you have to remove panels up on top to have access to points and points and points in order to get down below. I mean, I tore this little bastard apart. I'm hoping that when I'm finished in 5 days or so, that I'll be able to put it back together. So today is all about prep. I need to do some things here. This is a very unique process with regards to LizardSkin, at least the prep work, because I'm spraying over existing sound deadener. I'm spraying over surfaces that had, like, the previous owner of this van actually did a pretty good job. I mean, he spent a lot of time. In fact, I called him last night and I was like, Royce, I'm crying, buddy. I am crying that I have to tear up all your hard work. I mean, I'll tell you what, I want to put in-floor heating in this van. So I was going to have to tear his floor up anyways, you know. But just seeing all of this KILMAT, every one of these little panels, he pressed in and laid in, and you know, he gave it tender, loving care. And I'm sort of mutilating it for the purposes of redoing it. He was like, it's okay, man. I like watching the process. He sprayed a lot of contact cement and things, and he had a bunch of Havelock wool that was this is spray foam and Havelock wool, like a hybrid. This was along the edges. What I'm going to be able to do is I'm going to be able to spray all of this and all of this inside. I'm going to be able to get that sprayer up in here and spray all of those internal surfaces. Hell, I don't know if anybody's ever tried to sandwich KILMAT, sound deadener, thermal barrier, but I'm going to do it. I did see one video of somebody with the thermal barrier, and it was in Texas. He says it was like 110 degrees outside, and he's like, it's 110 degrees outside. Normally I'm not even able to touch the metal. And he touches the surface of his roof, and he's like, I can touch it. It's warm, but I can touch it.
Before I sprayed this in here, like, you would not be able to put your hand on the ceiling like this. That would have been impossible. It would have been 115 degrees or something like that. It was so hot. I swear this stuff must have dropped like the roof ceiling of this van at least 20 degrees or something. It is absolutely crazy how much this stuff helps. Just that little bit of ceramic spray insulation.
Anyways, let's get going. I've got my sandals on. Let's go. So like I said, this is a bit of a strange process. Normally you'd have the entire van would be like this, the whole van. And then so you're just prepping the metal to take on the LizardSkin. The first coat of the LizardSkin is what really matters, I guess, because that's the heavy sound deadener, the really thick, heavy substance that sprays on all the surfaces. I have all of this insulation here that I'm trying to scrape off, and I'm hoping that what it does is it actually acts as a bit of a scaffolding. So when I spray the sound deadener, any of these fibers that I can't get off, like it'll cling to, like creating like a mesh, because I know I can't get it all off. But maybe the sound deadener can sort of grab on to the surface using that. The thing that I worry about is that the sound deadener will just tear through that remaining adhesive that's sort of, I can't get off the ceiling, and it'll end up just peeling off. I hope not. What's going to be there is you're going to be sandwiching on top of that a ceiling. So that surface, it's not going to be like scraped and tussled. None of these surfaces are actually going to be aggressively pushed around. So once the coatings are on, there'll be, you know, Havelock wool over that, and then a wall over that. In the case of the floor, there will be, you know, strips laid down, and then the piping for the hydronic heating system will be laid down. So maybe it'll work out good, but I am a little bit nervous. I did try to do a primer. I bought some primer. I'll probably spray primer on some areas that I feel like I'd like a little extra adhesion. And I think tomorrow we'll actually start spraying the real thing. But for now, it's still prep. I think all day is going to be prep. I'm even like thinking I'll pop these guys out. These are the headlights on the front. Just try to remove as much as possible. I even have this harness. I could pull this harness clean out all of these wires so that you could spray in all of these voided spaces. And another thing I'd like to do is spray in here, this entire cavity here, because my air conditioning system is going to be here. And I would like to have this whole surface inside and out thermally coated and sound deadened, but also not. I have to worry about spraying into areas that are threaded. I have to prep all of these threaded openings. I gotta put in. All right, guys, fast forward a little bit, a few hours. I had some lunch, but I think the interior is clean phase 1. Clean phase 2 is going through and use a vacuum to suck up all of the debris, try and get it looking somewhat nice. And then a clean phase 3 is sanding. And then clean phase 4 is going over everything with the tack cloth and getting it ready for spraying. All right, guys, fast forward again. So at this point in time, I've ripped off the door panels. I wasn't 100% sure if I was going to do the door panels, but Ninja, the guy that runs the shop, he's like, you know, you do lose a lot of heat through those, or cold comes in, a lot of temperature comes in through those doors, and noise as well. So I cannot get anything around this, and I have to be careful not to shoot anything that's going to interrupt the window mechanism, but I can get that. I'm just gonna have to do my due diligence and wrap as much as I can before spraying. And then I'm gonna have to actually start wrapping stuff, which is I thought I was gonna do that this morning. I thought I was gonna do that yesterday. Just kind of the reality of projects, I guess. The guys at LizardSkin actually recommended this. They said pick up some earplugs and then squish them on down and then squeeze them in the holes, and it's like the perfect density to protect the threads of whatever hole you got, and also allow you to easily pop them out after you've done all your spraying. I never heard about that. Earplugs. as a traveler, earplugs were more useful in hostels where you were sleeping in bunk beds next to snorters and drunks and people playing music and all sorts of stuff. This is a different use for earplugs than I'm used to. All right, now we are into E.T. mode. You guys watch the movie E.T.? Whenever I start like putting like this sort of stuff up, it reminds me of when, what was his name? Elliot, right? When Elliot was being encased with the alien buddy in the house.
2% on room air.
You're scaring him!
Get a hypothermia blanket and some warming
Leave him
lamps.
alone!
So we are going to tent this off because Ninja is actually working on a car here, and I don't want to have any potential overspray get on his stuff. So time to tent it off. These videos are about reality. They're about my life. They're about my frustrations, and on many occasions, especially with regards to this van, I have not shown you some of the considerations or frustrations that I've had. Well, I was sitting outside this wall outside of, I'll show you. I was sitting out here, and yeah, Ninja is working on this today. And check this out. Check this out. Before I tell you about my sob story and my strife, he is putting this vinyl wrap. Look at that. Is that cool or what? Look at that. It's like goes from black to blue to purple. That's pretty awesome. Anyways, he's working on this for the next few days. So he's like, Matt, no problem. You leave your van here. We can take as long as you need to get it finished. And so I was sitting in this chair right here, and my feet were positioned up on this cooler, and I was drinking this Jack Daniels, and I'm sitting here and I'm looking at the van and I'm drinking, and I'm looking at the van and I'm drinking, and I'm looking at the van and just really wasting time. I'm not sure about a number of things. I'm not sure about putting this LizardSkin down on top of KILMAT. Am I going to mess it up? Is it going to be worse? Is it going to crack? Because I think that the LizardSkin actually hardens harder than the KILMAT. So if I put here you can see this is actually a piece of the KILMAT. You can see it's like tar. It's like tar. You might say, well, if you could pull this off, why didn't you pull it all off? This section pulled off easy. This little piece here. The rest does not pull off easy. The other thing that I'm not sure how to deal with, I'm very nervous about, are the doors. They're really a sink for heat and cold loss. I mean, this surface here has nothing on it, and it could totally use some sound deadening and thermal ceramic barrier. Actually, it's perfect, but the problem is there's all these window components and stuff. I don't want to remove all of this. I want to somehow isolate it so that I can spray this area here, throughout here and here, and not spray, any of the window components. I don't know if I'm actually going to be making something worse in the end. And I'm very nervous about it. I don't know what to do. Some of me says, Matt, just cut off the doors completely and just do the floor here, floor, ceiling, and the walls. And the other half of me is saying, Matt, you have this opportunity. You have all of this material. Get it done. Get it done. Take your time. Get it done. I've taped off a lot of the dashboard components, and I'm going to I still have a lot to do. But I'm sort of nervous, because I don't want to make a mistake. And I've watched all the videos of the people that have done it, and a lot of them have done much less. A lot of them didn't do the doors. And then later on, they actually added a caveat that said, man, I really wish I would have done those doors, because either sound or cold or hot come out through those doors. And so I'm I'm just not sure exactly how aggressive I should get on this. I mean, like even here, like I want to do this step, I want to do this floor. You know, you don't want to get it in the track here, where the door rides on this track. You know, you want to keep it here, and then I have all of these, you know, these ports here for screws and stuff. I think that actually just coating over those screw holes is good, as long as they're not threaded. All that'll do is actually create more surface for the screws to grab onto when you end up screwing them in. But this mess here, what do I tape off? What don't I tape off? You know, do I tape off all of this, or do I spray this? I'm really, really unsure of how to do this properly. And so I'm just drinking Jack Daniels, figuring that if I don't move forward, I can't make a mistake. But if you don't move forward, you'll have no progress either. No progress, no mistakes. Although not moving forward is sort of a mistake, right? So I'm making a mistake anyways.